What up, people? It's your boy, Master Chudy, out here with another animated film review. So I just got through watching Green Lantern Beware My Power, the fourth major film installment in this new Tomorrowverse, and it is called the Tomorrowverse. That's what I got hip to. And I have to say, for the most part, I would say that it's the second best of the Tomorrowverse, of course, first of all being The Long Halloween. But then again, it was more of an adaptation than a shared universe, but that's neither here nor there. There's some things that it does very well, in my opinion, and some things that are left to be desired for. But allow me to give you the plot, and of course, there will be spoilers in this review. So, as you can imagine, film begins with John Stewart, um, basically former Marine veteran coming back from the war, suffering from PTSD. He's trying to basically readapt it to society. And you generally see in the first 5 minutes his struggles, basically. But of course, a ship crash lands on Earth. It happens to be a Guardian. We don't know which Guardian, but it is a Guardian, and he dies, but bringing with him a ring, basically. And so he gets the Green Lantern ring, and he goes about trying to figure this out. Initially, he wants to take it off, wants to find a way to take it off, so the ring takes him back, or takes him all the way to the Watchtower, where he meets the Justice League without Superman, Wonder Woman, or Flash. The initial three that we saw in previous installments, also no Batman. Four that we saw in the previous installments, though the Wonder Woman that we saw was from, I guess, another universe, another timeline, basically. So we have yet to see the Tomorrowverse's timeline. But through them, they find out that the Justice League find out there have been some disturbances in the galaxy, and those who are in the Justice League at the moment are Martian Manhunter, Green Arrow, and Vixen. And so when they get there, or when Green Lantern gets there, as he passes through the security because he is a Green Lantern, they have an immediate scuffle, but they need to get some answers, of course. And that's when they find out that is Hal Jordan's ring, and that he may be dead, of course. But they realize that, oh, if Hal's not here, this could be related to some disturbances as well. So they decide to take a ship, Green Lantern and John Stewart, to Oa to see what happens. And of course, we see that Oa has been destroyed, and everybody's down. And while he's doing some investigating, we see Hawkgirl come out and attack, and they decide to work together and pretty much hightail it to the next place they have to go to, which of course would be a different, I guess, different planet. But as they're there, they're investigating. They see dead Thanagarians there. By the way, Hawkgirl believes that, of course, Ran is the one that destroyed Oa, and and, and it was basically as a result of their war against each other. And so that's why she's initially hostile, but of course she sees her dead brethren on this new planet. And just as they are getting ready to basically find out what's going on, Zeta Tube, Zeta Beam comes out of nowhere, and we see Adam Strange come in. Of course, there's some combat, and he believes that Thanagar was the ones that's caused this war. But apparently, he had been gone for so long, and I'll get to that later in the review. We see that there's been some discrepancy, and they decide to pretty much once again work together to find out what's going on. They find out, of course, that someone's been starting a proxy war, basically trying to sow chaos and whatnot. So through the information they received off of a fellow Randian comrade of Adam Strange, they find out a location, basically in an asteroid field. After evading its defenses, they go in. They finally see basically the Sinestro Corps, and they engage in some combat. But of course, they are defeated by Sinestro, and they basically lock them in prison. And he is trying to suss out basically where to find this new super weapon that the Radians, or in this case, Adam Strange's father-in-law, is trying to construct. But while they're in prison, they of course meet Hal Jordan, who had been captured by Sinestro, and he shot off his ring, basically, so that Sinestro wouldn't get it. And so once again, he tells them about, they pretty much discuss the plan, and of course Sinestro's there listening in, and so he decides to go on with the plan. But Hal Jordan had mentioned that he'd been trying to escape. He managed to dig a hole. Thanks to Hawkgirl's and the dagger, manages to help cut off the force fields and then go in. They pretty much escape as well, with John holding the ring and grabbing their gear, and they escape to try to head to Ran, pretty much. But of course, Sinestro beats them. But of course, the Ran defenses are too strong, so they go inside Ran and they tell them that, hey, Sinestro is causing much chaos, much destruction. We need to go talk with my father, basically my father-in-law. So the father-in-law basically goes in. Zeta beams them to the place, but of course Sinestro is there. All-out battle comes through. Everybody's fighting and whatnot, and it's pretty much all-out fighting basically. But Sinestro dies more or less in that battle against John Stewart. Second of which, once that's over, we see that Hal Jordan finds basically finds Adam Strange's father-in-law, says that, hey, he's going to give me all this equipment, got the secret weapon, and the father says that I'm the only one who knows, except for what's in that briefcase, and so Hal kills him, and then we find out that Hal has been infected with the parallax demon, or entity as it's called, which is obviously delving into the fact when he was parallax as well. Taking a little bit of that lore. So it pretty much says that his eyes been opened. He along with Sinestro went in and basically killed the Green Lantern Corps and Oa. And Hal took as many rings as he could, which is a clear callback to the Green Lantern animated series of when he took orange energy with all of the rings as well being infected with greed, basically. But after that, Hal becomes this being, and he wants to basically, with all the powers of the Green Lantern and the parallax energy, he sees himself as a god. So he wants to go in ahead and remake the universe in his image. Of course, they fight. John gets his own ring, and they begin to fight. Pretty good fight as well, animation wise. And long story short, Adam Strange realizes that the beam has already been fired, but he can redirect it because, as you know, Zeta beams are attracted to him. But at the end of the day, um, while John Stewart defeats Hal Jordan, he doesn't kill him. But then Hal Jordan pretty much comes in, gets ready to kill John, and then it's Green Arrow that kills Hal. And so they manage to stop the threat. They drop Hawkgirl, pretty much drops John and Green Arrow back on Earth, hopes to meet John again. And that's pretty much it. That's the end of the movie. And of course, there's no after credit scene. So this is an interesting film. Allow me to give my breakdowns, which will also have that character-wise. The characters are interesting. I've always been a Jon Stewart fan. Of course, this is the first, I guess, animated series where John is really the focal Green Lantern, the focus of the Green Lantern. Granted, I know he was in the New 52 movies with not much I guess lines, but in this case he's definitely the focal point. Not since Phil Lamar voiced him in Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, which has been a good 16, 20 years, 21 years ago, pretty much in that range that we've seen Jon Stewart as the Green Lantern focused. And for the most part, I did like the portrayal of it. Um, we get to see John pretty much as as a as a veteran, with PTSD, struggling to reintegrate. He pretty much gets Green Lantern power that he never asked for, that he never wanted. But we see over time and time again, he becomes a very trained individual. He's quite the detective. I definitely liked Aldous Hodge voicing him. Um, basically did a fantastic job. I did feel like he brought a certain thing to Jon Stewart as well. Um, We got to see that he really does train with the ring, trying to learn the mechanics of it, trying to do what he can with it. And also being a soldier, he's a very good sleuth. So I did feel like this movie handled Jon Stewart very well. Um, so no problems with him in that regard. Green Arrow was kind of the grounded man in this film. You know, he was pretty good. He was pretty resourceful, pretty nice as well. Pretty nice as well. Enjoyed my time with Green Arrow as well. I felt that Hawkgirl was a very fun part to have in this movie. I almost thought initially when she came in with her screams of battle, she sounded much like her Justice League and JLU counterpart back then. I thought the voice actress Jamie Gray Hyder did a very good job as well. Adam Strange by Brian Bloom, very good, very well done. Basically picking off where he left off in his DC animated short, which I would recommend if you haven't seen it. Uh, Hal Jordan, voiced by Nolan North, more or less, has returned. Um, um, Nolan North, who's of course known for his Young Justice work as well, is now voicing Green Lantern as opposed to as opposed to Superman and Superboy from Young Justice as well. So that's always good to see. That's always good to always good to have basically in the end. And Hal Jordan's character, I'll get into a while. I felt he was underutilized. Could have done more. And this is Hal Jordan will be an interesting focal point for those who have problems with this film. Let me just say that. And then, of course, Sinestro was not bad at all. Pretty good villain, pretty well to do. This is kind of a treat for many people, at least for me, because we haven't seen a Green Lantern film since the Emerald Knights in 2011. That's the last time Green Lantern had his own film, or any iteration of Green Lantern has had his own film at all. So to see Sinestro, the Sinestro Corps, which were teased in Emerald Knights, appear is a very welcome surprise, at least in my opinion, as well. Pretty much the other characters in this film, they don't really say much. Martian Manhunter's in there, Vixen's in there, just pretty good focal points um, as well as Adam Strange's, I guess, father-in-law, more or less. It's all there, so it is what it is. So let's get into the good and the bad of this film, and the good and the bad of this film. Now the good, um, plot of the story, as I would tend to disagree. I thought it was pretty nice. I thought it was straightforward, nothing too complicated, and certain twists here and there that may or may not um, please people. But I thought the plot was well written and the pacing was very good as well. The animation is what's really impressed me. The Tomorrowverse animation, which I like to say took after the whole Archer series, where I thought I was watching the Archer series, was a little bit janky when it first came in Superman of Tomorrow. But I will say this: it was definitely a lot more fluid, a lot more polished, and a lot more pristine in Green Lantern: Beware My Power. It definitely took a step up, and it's good to see the animation look very beautiful. Definitely appreciated that piece of work. More power to them in that regard. Once again, I like the character of Jon Stewart. I thought it was pretty done. I thought it was done pretty well, very professionally done, and that was just good character writing, along with Hawkgirl and Adam Strange and whatnot. Another good thing is that clearly, and it's clearly DC is integrating its shorts into its movies, which I find very good because while you don't need it, if you watch the Adam Strange short, and you at least know where he ends up after being taken into the Zeta Beam at the end of the short, which is why I recommend it. I initially thought they'd be doing sequels to these shorts, but it's clear that they're going to integrate these shorts into future Tomorrowverse movies, which I think is a pretty good idea as well. Now, we get into the bad. I would say that um, I would say I wish we got a little bit more, cooperation with our characters. I would have liked to see John and Shayera kind of play off what was done in the Justice League and their relationship, and of course we saw Vixen in there as well, playing off of the old Justice League with their relationship. It would have been nice to see, but it's clear that at the end of the film, with Hawk Girl, kind of teasing that she hopes to see him again, it's clear that one day um, they will bring that up. Um, Another thing is that, of course, this is the crux of it. It's that very clear that people will be upset with this, but it was Hal Jordan. Now, Hal Jordan being evil is not the issue because it's clear that in the comics he has been parallax. He has been a force against the Justice League. He's been a very powerful evil force. He has in fact died before, which is essentially why John Stewart was used in the Justice League in 2001 because Hal Jordan in the comics was canonically killed off. So those are not issues. Those are not problems. I think what people would have a problem with is how it was done, how it was rushed, how you could kind of see it coming when they were questioning him in the prison. I mean, I initially thought that you can say I was initially baited and switched when I thought that he was just a projection of that was caused by Sinestro, but he wasn't. So I was kind of like, oh, and I initially thought that it was going to be a case of he wasn't being deemed worthy because, as we see in this movie, Hal Jordan kills multiple people, multiple members of the Sinestro Corps, basically, and a couple of Ranian troops in cold blood, basically, without any honor. And I think that might have people upset. I think that definitely, since this is probably the last we'll see of Hal Jordan for some time in this particular film universe, many people would definitely enjoy the new 52 Hal Jordan over this one. Or, in any case, would prefer the Hal Jordan from First Flight and Emerald Knights, basically. So that's definitely going to upset person, but I can definitely see that as a bad part of the film as well. I can't deny that as well. Um, so I'll get into this. I think I'm hopeful for basically. Clearly, I think the tomorrow. I was worried about the Tomorrowverse essentially because Superman, Man of Tomorrow was kind of okay. This is the new universe you're building off of. Justice Society World War II was kind of it was okay. And the Batman, The Long Halloween, didn't really seem like part of a Tomorrowverse um, um, movie universe, but rather its own standalone thing, which is why I was shocked when I saw Flash and Green Arrow appear. But here, it seems that there is somewhat of a future, and they're trying to build up each individual character. Something that the New 52 movies did not do, whereby you basically had Batman. You essentially just had Batman um, and then Damian focusing on the Teen Titans, and then the Justice League. You didn't have and then one Superman film, which was almost pretty much more or less a Justice League film, and then a Wonder Woman film. Okay, but then you never really gave the other Justice League characters the Batman treatment that they got in the New 52 movies, where Batman received various amounts of movies. We didn't get to see an Aquaman movie. We didn't get to see a Green Lantern movie with Hal Jordan. We didn't get to see a Flash movie, though maybe you could count Flashpoint, but then again, that's what gave us the New 52 movies. We never got to see that. Here, the Tomorrowverse, I believe, is trying to form and at least do that, which the New 52 movie did not do. So, all in all, what would I rate this film? I give it a solid 7 out of 10. Um, I still think it was enjoyable. I still think it was good, but it could definitely have been better. But I do think that it definitely gives some direction to the Tomorrowverse. So thank y'all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notifications to make sure you're notified. Please comment below to give me your thoughts on this film. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Or are you just, it is what it is? I do these videos for you, the people, because I want to discuss good movies like this, in my opinion, and get your opinions on them too. So thank y'all for watching, and I will hope to have more videos out when I can. Peace.